Welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. We're embarking on a grand circle tour of the Magic Kingdom. We'll be stopping at New Orleans Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. We'll also visit the Grand Canyon and make a trip back in time to the primeval world and the age of the dinosaurs before returning to Main Street Station. As we begin our journey, remember that for a safe trip, you need to stay seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your children.
Bienvenidos a bordo del Disneyland Railroad. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide los pequeños. Gracias.
Our first stop is New Orleans Square Station. But to get there, we need to pass through the wilds of Adventureland. It may seem peaceful through here, but trust me, it's a real jungle out there. Literally. So be on the lookout. You just never know what might be lurking along the rails. Just ahead is New Orleans Square Station. This station also serves Frontierland and Critter Country. If you'll be leaving us here, please remain seated until the train comes to a complete stop. Then watch your step as you're getting off. For those of you continuing on with us, we'll be resuming our trip in just a moment. This is New Orleans Square Station, New Orleans Square.
Like, you're like a little critter. You're always like this.
Please remain seated so the train comes to a full and complete stop. This is New Orleans Square Station.
I know, yeah, but now you know.
Now I know.
And it is, yeah.
And I like it. Thanks for rounding out the tour. Really got everything.
Are you ready?
Do you know what that was for us? Well, this is up to
To those just joining us, welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. To ensure a safe ride, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your hands. Now entering Splash Mountain, rumored to be the location of the one and only Laughing Place. If you look real hard, you just might find it. It's where the critters are seen. Speaking of critters, this place we're passing over is home to a whole bunch of them. Here in Critter Country, you can join Peanut Pooh, Tigger, Brer Rabbit, and Brer Bear on their fun-filled adventures.
I didn't see it in that music.
As we steam past Hungry Bear Restaurant, the last outpost in these parts, we're now joining up with the rivers of America and entering the frontier as it looked more than a century and a half ago. This is my favorite part of the journey. Around every bend, there's natural beauty as far as the eye can see.
Doesn't that look like the way you want to spend your afternoon?
Here's the mic.
There is the revered Indian shaman, sharing his stories with those in the great river valley below.
But that's how I thought it happened.
People like you have been riding these rails since the 1800s, traveling through nature's wonderland in a matter of days, rather than the months it used to take by mule or stagecoach. Steam power not only fueled these iron horses, but the dreams of a whole new generation as it moved west quest into this great frontier. Of course, some of those dreams and the stories that went with them were pretty darn wild and downright unbelievable, like on Big Thunder Mountain, where I hear that mysterious spirits have grabbed hold of those mining trains and turned them into the wildest ride in the wilderness. This tunnel signals our transition from the frontier to another kind of gear. The ones you'll find on Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Our next stop is Toontown Depot, official train station for Mickey's Toontown, the cartoon home where Mickey, Minnie, and all their friends live. Toontown Depot is also the gateway to Fantasyland, where you'll find many of your favorite Disney animated characters and stories. If you're leaving us here, please wait until the train comes to a full stop. Remember your personal belongings and step carefully from the train. Have fun.
Please remain seated so the train comes to a full and complete stop. This is Toontown Depot, gateway to Fantasyland. And stay tuned. Mickey's Toontown is open.
Thanks for joining us on the Disneyland Railroad. For a safe ride, remember to stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
Bienvenidos a bordo. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos
There's an egg. Oh, there's an egg right there. I see it. There's a toad on top of the toy shop. There was an egg on top of the toy shop. I see it.
Fantasyland.
This one.
You can see people stepping onto its small world just below us. And off in the distance, majestic.
On the other side. Got two. Was Mr. Toad. Oh, I'm Chris Small.
We're now steaming forward into the future to a land inspired by visions of tomorrow, both practical and imagined. Here you'll find rocket ships and star speeders, submarines and astroblasters, and if you look overhead, maybe a glimpse of a Mark 7 monorail. This is the latest version of the first daily operating monorail system in the entire Western Hemisphere, gliding above Disneyland since 1959. Below the monorail, and us, are the fun-filled roadways of the Autopia. Drivers of all ages can get behind the wheel of these cars. No experience or license required. If you're into soaring spaceships or doing battle with evil empires and emperors, Tomorrowland is definitely the place for you. Speaking of which, we're pulling into Tomorrowland Station right now. If you're leaving us here, just stay seated until we come to a full stop. Gather your belongings, including lightsabers and astroblasters, and step carefully from the train. Thanks, and have fun in the future. For the rest of you, just sit tight. We'll be on our way again in just a minute.
It's rough. I'm gonna need a lot of subscribers.
Oh, there's a on-ramp.
Complete stop. This is Tomorrowland Station. Up ahead, please make sure to turn off all flash photography and video lighting, as well as other light up and accessories. Once again, once you're in the tunnel, please no flash.
To those who have just come aboard, welcome. The next leg of our journey will take us from the fantastic world of the future to the breathtaking beauty of nature's own design, the Grand Canyon. For your safety, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Watch your children and no flash photography.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado, tenga las manos, brazos, pies, piernas dentro del tren y cuide a sus pequeños. Por favor, no tome fotografías con flash.
That was the Grand Canyon as we know it today. But it wasn't always this way. Now, let's travel back in time. Way back in time. We're now returning to our own time and to Main Street Station, gateway to Disneyland. If you're leaving us here, stay in your seat until we come to a full stop. Remember to gather all your personal belongings.
Please remain seated till the train comes to a full and complete stop. This is Main Street Station. And for those with strollers or wheelchairs, please keep them folded to reach the bottom of the stairs. This station has only stairs, no ramps.
Staying with us, we'll be on our way again in just a few minutes. This is Main Street Station, Main Street, USA.
And the